You weren't supposed to see this, but now that you have, things are changing. This message wasn't meant for you, but somehow, against all odds, it reached you. And now everything around you is starting to shift, even if you don't realize it yet. That's how the universe works. It doesn't show you proof or clear signs. It moves in ways that seem random, but that's how it's meant to be. If you're waiting for clear evidence, you'll never find it. That's the point. To others, it might just look like coincidence. But if you're here, it's not by chance. It never was. The universe doesn't follow a straight path. When it wants you to see something, it will make sure you do. Through a random video, a sudden thought, or a feeling you can't shake. That's what's happening to you now. Something is beginning. Something you weren't meant to notice. But now that you have, there's no turning back. And trust me, you need to understand what's coming. Keep watching, because there's something I'll share later that might change how you see everything from now on. This is your moment. Before we move on, you need to know if you're one of the few who will truly experience this change. Your breakthrough is coming, but not everyone will make it. Something feels off, right? Even if you can't explain it. Like that strange feeling of being outside your own body, watching your life unfold. Maybe you've even started to question if life is real. Too many things happening at just the right time. Number patterns showing up everywhere. An urge to change your life, even if you don't know where to start. And February hasn't been easy. It's felt heavy, like a fog that won't go away. The energy has been thick, like something unseen pushing against reality. And then there was that full moon. Maybe it didn't seem like much at the time, but since then, something inside you has been shifting. You can feel it. If any of this feels too familiar, if something inside you is clicking right now, then listen carefully. This isn't random. This isn't just a weird phase. It's beginning. This is what an activation feels like. The confusion, the signs, the feeling that something is about to happen, because it is. And if you don't realize what's happening to you right now, you might miss your chance completely. You don't have to chase what's meant for you. It's already finding its way to you. The battles you fought, some in silence, some in plain sight. The nights you stayed up questioning yourself, wondering if it was enough. People may have overlooked you, doubted you, made you feel like you had to prove yourself. But the truth, you don't need anyone's approval. You don't need to explain yourself. You've already earned what's coming. Every sacrifice, every step you took, even the ones that felt like mistakes, has already set your future in motion. But listen, just because it's coming doesn't mean you can sit back and wait. You have to be open to receiving it, and you will have to be ready and aware of what's about to happen, because there's more to it. You've heard me say activation, but what does that actually mean? Most people think it's some big, earth-shattering event, like the sky opening up or a voice from the heavens telling you exactly what to do next. But that's not how it works. Activation isn't something outside of you. It's something that awakens inside you. And here's the wild part. It's different for everyone. For some, it's the moment their manifestations finally break through, like everything they've been waiting for is suddenly right in front of them. For others, it's a shift so powerful, it completely reroutes their life. One conversation, one decision, one realization that changes everything. But at its core, activation is this: your body, your mind, your soul leveling up. It's the moment you start feeling different, like you're not even operating on the same frequency as before. Foods taste different. People's energy feels heavier or lighter than it used to. Things that once made sense now seem so obvious, like you've been seeing the world through a fog this whole time, and only now is it finally clearing. And sometimes it's not comfortable, because here's the thing about activation. It forces change. It demands growth. And if you're still holding on to things, people, or beliefs that aren't meant for you anymore, it's going to feel like the universe is ripping them away. But don't fight it. Trust it. Because whatever is coming for you, whatever shift is about to happen, it's already on its way. Have you ever looked back and realized every choice led you here? Think about it. The people you've met, the moments that changed everything, the doors that opened, and the ones that slammed shut in your face. Most people don't see it, but there's an invisible thread pulling you toward exactly where you're meant to be. Every twist, every detour, it was never random. It was never meaningless. And sometimes that thread yanks you in a new direction, hard. Ever felt like life was ripping something away from you, only to realize later it was saving you from something worse? Ever had a plan fall apart, only to end up somewhere better than you imagined? These aren't coincidences. They're course corrections. Moments when the universe steps in and says, no, not that way, this way. And that's why things feel chaotic lately. The energy shifting, the uncertainty, the strange, unshakable feeling that something is rearranging itself around you. Because it is. What if I told you you've already been tested? Not in the way you think. No loud announcements. No clear instructions. Just moments. Moments of doubt, struggle, frustration. Moments where you wondered if you were even on the right path. And you might have thought those moments were just life, just bad luck, just another obstacle. But they weren't. They were tests. Tests to see if you were truly ready for what's coming next. Because here's the truth. Not everyone makes it to this point. So many people give up. So many ignore the signs, dismiss their own intuition, and fall right back into the same cycles. But you didn't. You kept searching. You kept feeling that pull, even when it didn't make sense. And because of that, you've proven something that most people never will. And here's the part no one tells you about. Your karma is stacking up. Everything you've given out, your kindness, your patience, your love, it's all coming back. The universe doesn't forget. The energy you've poured into the world doesn't just disappear. And because of that, something incredible is about to happen. Remember when I said there was one thing that would blow your mind? Well, this is it. It's been right in front of you this whole time. You just didn't realize it. Think back. Something strange, something off happened recently. Maybe it was small. Maybe you brushed it off. A weird coincidence. A misplaced object. A random conversation that stuck with you for no reason. A moment that made you stop and think, that's odd. It wasn't just weird. It was a message. Most people ignore these things. They chalk them up to randomness, to chance. But if you've made it this far, then you know by now nothing is truly random. The universe communicates, just not in the way we expect. So here's what you need to do. Think. Really think. What was that moment? And what did it mean? Because if you can recognize it, if you can see the message that was left for you, then you'll know. You'll know that your activation isn't coming. It's already started. You weren't supposed to wake up this early. That's the part they don't tell you. Most people stay asleep their entire lives. They go through the motions, follow the rules, and never once stop to question, is this all there is? But you were different. You felt different. You always have. And that's exactly why something has been trying to pull you back. Because the truth is, the moment you start waking up, really waking up, you become a threat. A threat to the old patterns, the old systems, the old version of yourself that was easier to control. And there are forces, seen and unseen, that want nothing more than to keep you exactly where you were. And they're smart. They know exactly how to do it. Doubt. That little voice that whispers, this isn't real. You're just imagining things. Nothing's actually changing. It creeps in at the worst moments, right when you're about to take a leap, right when you start believing in yourself. Fear, a sudden, overwhelming sense that you're making a mistake, that you're stepping into the unknown, and there's no guarantee of what's on the other side. It paralyzes you, makes you hesitate. Distraction. Suddenly, everything feels urgent. You get lost in your phone, in other people's drama, in meaningless loops of stress that keep your mind too busy to notice what's happening to you. But the worst one, the one that gets almost everyone, is people. People who don't want you to change. People who feel something shifting in you. And instead of supporting it, they resist it. And they don't even realize they're doing it. Watch closely. You might start noticing it. The subtle comments, the weird energy, the way certain people act differently around you now. Maybe they dismiss what you're saying, make you feel like you're being dramatic or overthinking. Maybe they pull you into negativity, complain more, drain your energy without you even realizing it. Because deep down, whether they admit it or not, they sense it. They sense that you're not the same, that you're growing, that you're stepping into something they don't understand. And instead of rising with you, some of them will try, consciously or not, to hold you down.
But here's what you need to understand. None of them can stop this. Not the doubts, not the fears, not the distractions, not the people who secretly want you to stay the same. Because the moment you started waking up, this was already in motion. There's no going back. And if you can push past the noise, if you can stay focused through the resistance, then what's coming next? Nothing will be able to stop you. If you've made it this far, it means something. Think about it. Most people don't. Most people stop listening. The second something feels too real, the second their mind whispers, "This is ridiculous. Just move on." Forget it. That's not an accident. Because distractions, they exist for a reason. Something doesn't want you to hear this. Something doesn't want you to remember who you are. And that's why this moment, right now, is everything. Because the truth is, you've been standing at a crossroads for longer than you realize. Every time you ignored your intuition, every time you told yourself maybe later, every time you convinced yourself that you were just imagining things, that was the crossroads. And now you don't get to ignore it anymore. You feel it, that pull in your chest, that restless energy, like something is shifting and you don't even have the words to explain it. Like a force bigger than you is trying to tell you something. And no matter how hard you try to distract yourself, it just keeps getting louder. That's because something is trying to tell you something. And it's not going to stop, not until you listen. Because here's the thing about activation. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait until you're ready. It comes when it knows you are, even if you don't believe it yet. And that's why you're still here. Because deep down, you know you were meant to hear this. You know that everything happening in your life right now, every struggle, every loss, every moment of doubt, isn't random. It's preparing you. It's stripping away everything that isn't aligned with where you're supposed to be. And yeah, it's scary. It's uncomfortable. Growth always is. Because here's what no one tells you. If you don't step into this now, you might not get another chance. Not because you aren't worthy, but because the universe only opens these doors at the right time. And when that time passes, it doesn't wait for you to catch up. It moves on. It finds someone else who's ready. Because this is it. This is your moment. No more signs. No more waiting. No more questioning. It's already here. And trust me when I say, you won't believe what's coming next. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.